What is up, everybody? My name is Hiken, and today we are taking a look at the $24 Amazon Basics gaming mouse. Before we get into the video, please remember to like and subscribe. It really does help me out, and let's get into it. So first off, I have some general information about the mouse. First off, it has that $24 price tag, which is super nice. In the box, you get a CD with drivers, so feel free to throw that right into the trash like I did. You also get an instruction manual and the mouse itself. It has a, quote, high accuracy optical sensor, so nothing brand name there. It also has up to 3200 DPI, which is plenty. Everyone that I've seen really uses like 400 to 1600, maybe 1800, so 3200 is plenty. I personally use 800 DPI, and that's what I used for all the testing of this mouse. This mouse also has Omron switches. I think I'm saying that right. Let me know if I pronounced it wrong, but they are brand name switches, which is pretty nice, and they do give you a really nice click. We'll have a sound test for that later. The product page says that the mouse is 4.8 ounces, which is about 136 grams. This might be wrong. Unfortunately, I have no way to measure it. All right, let's get into the actual review. This one's gonna go a little bit different than my usual reviews. I won't break this down into pros and cons, but I'll rather just go over the individual features of the mouse and talk about them a little bit. So let's start off with the cord. It's not great. It's really rigid, which isn't what you want with a mouse. I unfortunately don't have a bungee, so I just put this little light that I have on top of the cord, and it actually worked all right. But again, the cord just doesn't get the bends out of it that come in shipping, so it's kind of a big issue for me. I'm sure that that'll happen eventually, but to have that feature not right out of the box is kind of disappointing. This mouse is also really made for palm grips. Like, your fingers laying in the grooves just feel really nice, and it does feel fine with a fingertip claw grip or a hybrid grip if that's your thing. I really do like the feeling of the mouse. It feels sturdy but not super cheap. Cheap, but not super cheap. This RGB lighting is also pretty cool too. It's customizable in the software that you can download. I don't think the lighting was really a necessary feature, but it's nice to have regardless. Makes the mouse look a whole lot better. The DPI button is on the top, which I'm not a fan of, but you can just find the DPI you like, use it for everything, and just disable the button in the software. That's what I did. The DPI button also does light up, but it won't have the same effects available as the other two lights on the mouse, so don't expect pulsing RGB with the DPI button. The software that comes with this mouse is actually pretty awesome. You can set up macros for the different mouse buttons. You can also change the lighting, make it pulse, blink, or just cycle through the colors. You can also pick a single color if that's more to your liking, or you can just turn the lighting off if you hate fun. You can also change the DPI settings. The polling rate goes up to 1000 Hertz. The double click sensitivity, Windows pointer speed settings, and the scroll speed settings all in the mouse software, which is a really nice feature. The software is honestly one of the most impressive parts about this mouse. I wasn't expecting any software, but to have software this great is awesome. These mouse switches are also surprisingly really nice. They are name brand, these Omron switches. Again, apologies if I'm saying that wrong, but they have a very nice click feeling. Let's hear them now before we go any farther. Pretty nice, right? I do have a big problem with these side buttons though. Not the click, but the placement. I don't really have super wide thumbs, so if I want to rest my thumb on the thumb rest, it can't reach the buttons, which kind of removes the whole purpose of having the buttons in the first place. They're supposed to be there so that you can reach them without having to strain or even move your thumb at all. And this mouse, it doesn't have that. If I do want to just rest my thumb on the thumb buttons though, it's very uncomfortable because that's not where the thumb is intended to rest. This is a huge problem for me when I'm playing games like Overwatch, where I need ready access to the thumb buttons. I use quick melee and my push to talk for my mic button on there, and to not be able to have quick and ready access to those is a huge bummer for me. The scroll wheel is also fine. It's notched, which is what you want. I don't know why you would want a fluid scroll wheel at all. I've used them and they're terrible. It just gives you really nice feedback when you scroll. I think the sensor on the mouse is decent. It's not great, but it's decent. It wasn't really a huge difference for me moving between a name brand mouse, the Logitech G305, which I do have a review of, by the way, if you want to check that out. Link will be down in the description below. I didn't really notice a huge change moving from the Logitech mouse to this mouse sensor-wise. There was some where I was playing Paladins on stream and I felt like it registered a click when I didn't click. So again, the sensor isn't great, but it's not terrible either. Much better than I was expecting. Tracking in FPS games isn't really a terrible experience either. I was able to do it just fine with this mouse. The skates on this mouse aren't terrible, but I do feel a little bit of grab when I'm using it on my Zowie SR mousepad. That's what I use. This mousepad is supposed to have some friction. It's not supposed to be super smooth, but it's definitely a difference moving between this mouse and the Logitech mouse, which has better skates. Overall, would I recommend buying this mouse? It depends. If this is like your first gaming mouse, like you just want to use something that's not the old mouse you found in your parents' closet somewhere, then yeah, go for it. Buy it. It's a $25 mouse. You can't really go wrong with this. But if you do have a little bit of a higher budget, say $50, I would definitely consider some other name brand options, or maybe even possibly the $40 Amazon mouse. I don't know. I haven't reviewed it yet. Let me know if you want me to do that. Yeah, this mouse it does have some minor issues that you're really only going to notice if you're really used to using a better mouse. Like if you're looking for an upgrade in a mouse, don't buy this mouse. That's not what this is for. This is a starter mouse. This is a first mouse that you give to somebody or that you buy or whatever. If you're a more seasoned gamer looking for a better mouse, just pass on this, buy something from Logitech, Razer, SteelSeries, one of the other name brands. Before we go, do feel free to check me out on Twitch. I do stream a lot of first-person shooter games. I'm kind of cycling between Paladins, Overwatch, maybe a little bit of Apex Legends, and of course Skyrim. So if any of those games sound like a good time, do feel free to drop by. There will be a link down in the description below. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really do appreciate it, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace.